they start protesting.
But protests did take place in nearly 40 cities on Wednesday night, with hundreds of people being arrested, and all flights out of Russia are now fully booked as Russians scramble to leave the country, fearing the possibility of a full-scale national call-up. With FSN Spotlight, I'm Simon Marks.
To recap the top stories, 5 Britons that had been held captive by Russian-backed forces have returned to the UK following a prisoner swap mediated by the Saudi Arabian government. Germany's leader, Olaf Scholz, will travel to the Middle East this weekend in a bid to find new gas suppliers. And the UN's Special Rapporteur for the human rights situation in Myanmar says the world is failing those living in the country. That's the latest feature story news. Laura Macon-Isherwood reporting.
Well, bless my soul, what's wrong? I'm Dan.
I'm TL, and we're from Blue Suede Connection.
And we're excited to be part of the KCHW family.
Bringing you 2 hours of Elvis and fun every week.
Join us every Saturday at 7 p.m. right here on 102.7 KCHW.
We are your Blue Suede Connection.
I'm all shook up.
Amigos!
Good morning. It's KCHW 102.7, and very, very excited to have the return of Mr. Chuck Ritchie. Yay!
That's right.
All right. We missed you, Chuck.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Right.
Had some stuff going on.
All right.
We were aiming really hard, too.
Yeah, I know. I'm sure.
Bows and arrows, baby. Bows and arrows.
I'm not as big of a target as I used to be.
No. All right. I am so glad.
But I don't move very fast, so there's that.
All right. We did see you posted on Facebook, but it's kind of hard to keep up with it.
Right.
You know, when you're doing stuff and looking at your PC, but we'll try. And maybe, and I noticed a lot of times on Thursdays, people will post trivia answers. So between the three of us, we should try to kind of keep an eye on Facebook today. All right?
You should.
All right. Let's see what we got. I'm so glad that the news covered everything happening with Putin calling up 300,000 troops and reservists and people fleeing the country. So we don't even have to deal with that because it's really depressing and scary.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Your weather today, 71, cloudy skies this morning. You're going to have some sunshine this afternoon with a few clouds. A slight chance of rain shower, too, just at 15%. And then tonight, 41 with clear to partly cloudy skies. Friday, 67, partly cloudy, 41 for an overnight low. You got a pretty nice weekend on tap. Nice fall weekend, 72 and 43. And Saturday, 76 and 46 on Sunday, mostly sunny both days. You're going to just have a little Indian summer for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. You've got 82, 83, and 87. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Great weather to wrap up things in your yard, Chuck.
I know, right? I have a shed I'm going to build.
A shed. Well, get on it, boy.
Yeah.
Get on it.
Yep.
All right. And Alan, everything okay?
Everything is fantastic.
All right. So let's hit you guys up with a couple questions. What's the funnest thing you did this summer, Alan?
Getting my bass boat running.
Ooh. And now, did you catch any fish with that bass boat?
I did, and I actually have proof.
Okay.
Nice.
And you eat the fish that you catch?
No, catch and release.
Catch and release. All right. You're just in it for the sport.
Absolutely. And to float on the lake. You know, it's all about the quality time, sir.
There you go. I used to, I'm not a fisher person, but I would have friends that would go fishing, want me to take them fishing when I lived at Loon Lake. And I would tell them, okay, but you want to get to fish for 20 minutes at a time. And then I'm going to drive really fast to another part of the lake and jump some waves. And then you can fish for another 20 minutes, but you can only fish for 20 minutes at a time. And then I was bored and I needed to go somewhere really fast. So.
Beautiful.
Yeah. All right, Chuck, funnest thing you got to do this summer?
Probably we went on a trip to Seattle and we did a lot of really amazing, fun things there with the family. That was fun.
Yeah.
Saw some great art, and we went. Probably the highlight of that was we took a glass blowing class.
Oh.
Nice.
and actually blew some glass.
Did you go down and see the Chihuly exhibit?
No, we had tickets to go, but we just ran out of time.
I'll
What
tell
is
you what,
that?
man. If you see it, Chihuly he's like a world famous glass blower.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he does glass sculptures and stuff. He's actually pretty amazing.
He really is.
Yeah,
I did visit my uncle who lives there, who's actually friends with him.
nice.
And he's telling me all about his pool, his swimming pool that he has at home, which apparently is like one of the most amazing pools in existence. It's
Wow.
his custom made glass pool.
Wow.
So something like that. I don't remember exactly what he was saying, but something pretty amazing about that pool.
I'd like to see that.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, and then he starts pulling out this box with like letters from Chihuly and all this stuff and like personal stuff back and forth between him and Chihuly. Yeah, it's pretty fun.
How awesome is that?
Yeah, and some he had a whole bunch of like Chihuly pieces in his house.
Right.
Yeah, so like wow. Okay.
Chuck, you know all these famous people. What are you doing in Chihuahua?
I've met my uncle twice in my life, so I don't
Yeah.
I have no connection. He is an actor, but not a very well known one.
Nice.
Speaking of art, did you guys see the new mural on the side of the Aaron Huff Memorial Cultural Center?
Yes.
From Tracy.
Yes,
You know
Tracy did such
yeah.
an amazing job.
Yeah. All right, and then Mike sent me these yesterday because I asked for him. The picture, he sent me a picture of the pavilion or amphitheater in the park. They've redone it and given it a facelift. It's fabulous looking.
It looks fantastic.
Looks pretty awesome.
Yeah, very cool. All right, funnest thing I did this summer was probably, while Mooch was in the hospital touring the coast of Maine, except I did it by myself. But it was cool, for places that you've never been before, and yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. I happened to run into Lobster Fest, which was made traffic a little crazy, but that was kind of cool. Everything you ever wanted to know about lobster and all the lobster you could possibly eat, and all the
Nice.
different ways that you can eat lobster. So.
Nice.
All right, we got weather
I'm
out of
the-
the way. Go ahead.
This Saturday we're gonna go to Spokane and dress up as Alice in Wonderland characters and do a scavenger hunt around downtown.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's a little early for Halloween, isn't it?
It has nothing to do with Halloween. It's actually the second time. It'll be the second time this year we've done it.
Okay.
It's never too early for Halloween, dude.
There's no such thing.
So my daughter's doing something cool here. She is actually Salem, Massachusetts does 31 days of Halloween,
Hmm.
and they're going.
That's amazing.
And they're going to that, so that'll be really fun. And
Cool.
then she entered a contest to go on a ghost hunting excursion in the middle of the month, and she won that.
Nice.
Yeah. So
That's awesome.
She loves like those ghost hunting shows, like Ghost Hunters and all the other
Yeah,
ones. Yeah. So
I,
very.
I,
Cool.
I really wish Halloween was a longer holiday. Like I think we should celebrate it. I think the 31 days should be standard.
Yeah, I think it's one of your favorites, isn't it?
I think it is hands down my favorite holiday, and I think we need to take steps to make it bigger holiday than Christmas.
Somebody said, I think it was my
You take the
sister
title
this
away.
week, that it should be a national holiday.
It should be. I don't know why it's not, but it should be.
Everybody's into it because is it the grim factor of it, the whole Day of the Dead thing? We can't make it a national holiday.
Maybe. I have another one. It's a friend is throwing a birthday party, and it's a woodland fantasy theme, like a fairy in the woods fantasy sort of theme, and I'm dressing as a king I've got this big giant black ruffle feather collar and this a crown made of skulls and feathers and
You're
and
really
this bodice with leather and stuff and a wig.
I'd be more
Yeah.
impressed if you were going as a fairy.
Well, I'm an elf king. I'm gonna be going as an elf king. I'm gonna have elf ears. It's gonna be great.
I want to see that too, Alan.
I thought about it, but I couldn't find the right chess piece.
Wings and a big puffy dress.
Wow, that'd be so.
I
Cute.
considered it.
All right, I'm picturing it right now. I wish I could do the special effects on your camera.
I can't go to a party dressed the same as my wife. Come on now. That's just taboo.
You guys could be twinning.
Yeah.
I think the funnest thing like for a Halloween. At least it was one of them that got the most looks. I did because I get into it too. I bought. I mean, they looked totally real. I spent some coin on them. Hazmat suits. Like
Nice.
for and not just your ordinary. I mean, like we were going into nuclear radiation with the rebreathers on them and everything. It was pretty cool, and got some great pictures, like standing outside the gas station filling up my truck in it. But it was very realistic looking, and even anti fog in the windows. It was pretty cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
My one of my kids is building one right now that is it's got a lot of foam on it, and it's got like this creepy mask and antlers, like actual deer antlers, and her on her back legs is a like the drywall stilts, that strap on to the legs, and then in the front arms are regular crutches, like the ones that strap onto your wrist.
Okay.
And so the costume is like vertical and is like this creepy walker thing with like the head that goes out forward, and the mask actually goes on top of the head with it face down,
Weird.
and then the antlers coming up, so they can look, see where they're going and still have the mask straight forward, but be able to see the ground and stuff underneath. Yeah, pretty elaborate.
I had this costume. I used it a few times DJing at nightclubs, where I had the MC Hammer pants and I filled them with pillows, so I was really fat. And then got like an oversized sweater and did the pillows thing. And then on the back of the sweater, it said MC Rhino. And then I had giant rhino horn on my head, and my face was all green and scaled and stuff. It was pretty cool.
Nice.
So my daughter's having a Halloween party one night, and I wear that. And I don't know, she's like 8 years old or something. And I get a little too carried away. They're dancing and stuff, and I get up on the table and start dancing in my outfit. And I have these dinosaur feet, so when you stop, they roared. You stomp, they roared. And I was shaking
That's
my
awesome.
butt, and I got down off the table, and one of the little girls looks at me, and she goes, "My mom is not going to approve of this."
Nice.
Ouch. Oops.
Nice.
Wow.
Oops. All right. Let's see. We got through weather. A couple community events. I talked about this yesterday. I'll just throw it out again since they asked us to. It's the Pulse Heart Institute, and they're looking for hunters. They're going to be at the North 40 Outfitters, let's see, today and tomorrow from 10 to 4:30, and they're doing blood pressure checks and have an educational booth for people to learn the signs about heart attacks and cardiac events. And it's geared toward hunters. They say this time of year, hunters suffer from heart attacks and cardiac events while hunting in the wild. And I said it yesterday, it's because we're old. We don't get probably enough exercise, and then we go out and we start climbing up mountains. And bad things can happen with that. I had it happen to me.
Or
once
checking
climbing
the
a mountain.
mail.
Yeah.
Or
Checking the mail. You talking about me, Chuck?
getting off the couch for a snack. Stuff that's hard on our bodies.
Yeah.
At this age.
Or just Mondays.
Yeah.
You notice I don't work Mondays.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good reason for that.
There's good reason.
Eat into that sun.
True story. True story. It's rather stressful.
Oh, I gotta go to bed.
Have you ever had one of those jobs where you stressed out from the time you got off on Friday until you went back Monday morning?
Every day.
Yeah.
Stressy, you had to go back.
Right now, Alan? Really?
Every week, sir.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're joking
Every
because you're
week.
far too happy.
I try to be happy.
All right.
I get off
helps.
the air on this show, and I'm like, man, in a week I got to get up at 7:00 again.
All right. Let's see other events. You got your farmers market tomorrow in the Cheweel City Park, 11 to 3:30. Next Tuesday, forest representative at the chamber office, 10 to 3. Next, let me make sure I'm on the right day. Next, I hate the way they do this calendar. Next Thursday, Taste of Chewela from the Chewela Arts Guild. Annual event for 'em. Of course, it stopped for a couple years because of COVID. It's back on next Thursday, the 29th, 4:30 to 8 p.m.
Got my tickets last night.
Nice. And then you go around downtown and sample food from different restaurants. Maybe have a few cocktails. All right.
We'll get together. We'll have a few laughs.
And I know our station manager's been working hard on this. She's one of the committee chairs. It's the Fall Festival in Chihuahua beginning at 10 on next Saturday, October 1st. And some of the things going on, Firefighters Olympics, Kids Olympics. There are going to be vendors on Main Street. They're going to have a parade that morning. And then a giant table where everybody gets to sit down and eat together going down Main Street. DOT's letting us block off 395. It's going to be super cool. And then music.
It is.
And then music, too. She's got several bands coming in, so
She's been working her butt off. It's going to be quite the thing. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, I haven't been picking on her and saying that. Are you watching the radio stuff? Come on. And then on that Sunday, the 2nd, Chihuahua Valley Lions having their fall half-century bike tour. Wow, lots of stuff going on.
Nice.
And then I know we get into October, we got the chamber auction, we've got Hands Across Nations auction, so lots of stuff going on in Chihuahua, lots of stuff to do, and of course stuff to get out and support.
Well, there's the Fireman Olympics. When is
that's next Saturday, the 1st, with all the other stuff going on.
Oh, that's with the
Firefighter
festival, okay.
Olympics in the park, and all the funds, and you might see the booths around town. All the funds raised by this is going to support wildland firefighter families. You know, that have lost someone. So what a great cause there too.
I feel bad for the ladies working at the coffee shop I go to, because half my tips now have been going in the boot instead of to them.
Oh, come on, Jeff! Don't be a cheapskate.
I try. I try to throw an extra buck on top.
Wow.
Or two. Yeah.
Wow.
By the way, hats off to the wildfire guys this year. I mean, it's been pretty tame this year.
It really has.
They've been like right on it.
Good. I know you said you had one close to your place and you saw them and they were like immediately there and putting it out.
Immediately.
What's the status? I haven't heard any updates on the one that was burning over the top of the hill. I heard last week someone said they could see it from the golf course.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't even seen any smoke out of there now.
Yeah.
So I think they probably got that one.
I know they were working. They were really doing a good job. They weren't fighting the fire itself yet, but they were trying to get that perimeter, an acceptable perimeter, sort of contained, and then go work from there in. And I think they were pretty successful with that.
Well, they're learning, I think, as this goes on too, because you've got them utilizing the Chihuahua Airport. You've got them utilizing the Deer Park Airport for bigger aircraft and planes. And I know up at Kettle Falls, a few years back when the fire broke out right there where I lived, and I was freaking out because it's like on the other side of the hill. And it's like this funnel of smoke coming into my property. And I just kind of turned around and got hit in the face with smoke. And I went, what? Because I didn't have any close neighbors. And I can see this funnel coming at me. And now I hear somebody that works for the fire department or DNR. I hear a truck and I look up at the top of the mountain and I can see this guy doing like 90 down the mountain in a Forest Service rig. And I'm like, oh no, there's a fire. And I start grabbing stuff. And by the time I turn around the other direction, I mean, it couldn't have been more than 2 minutes. Here's a plane. And it was just one after the other. Boom, boom, boom. They weren't able to put it out because it was so dry that year. But the response time and the attack and the effort they put into stopping it was amazing. And that was a rough fire for them that year. But just watching it was just kind of awe-inspiring. You know?
They had a fire up there again this year.
That place up there around Dead Man, the lightning must like it. It must be the mountain, the way the mountains are formed there and the mountaintops and stuff, because it's always getting hit by lightning. Yeah. Scary, scary stuff. All right, just a couple news headlines. Won't get into it too much. Along kind of with the story that as we came on the air from the news, and Russia bringing a bunch of reservists in, was a plea by Ukraine to the General Assembly of the United Nations, talking about wartime atrocities. And I mean, some of them, it's horrific to talk about. Even things like Russian soldiers putting skulls on pikes in front of their offices and stuff like that. I mean, just horrible atrocities that they're digging up in these towns that they've reclaimed. What do we do? You know, with that threat of nuclear war.
That's not. Yeah.
That's just how do people get that twisted? I mean, me personally, I can't even gut a deer. How could you go through hurting people and maiming people? They've done things that I don't even want to talk about on the radio because somebody might have their kid in the car. It's absolutely horrible. So
I think it's all the propaganda that you're fed. I mean, because the whole thing started out as, well, yeah, I guess kind of a racist thing, right? And depending on what propaganda you're fed, how angry that propaganda makes you and what you actually buy into, it's going to change your demeanor, and you probably do things that you wouldn't normally do. Just atrocities.
There is, and some people might get mad about this, but there is a lot of brainwashing that goes on in military. It's just like the Russians that have defected through this, saying, we didn't even know where we were going. We're just doing what we're told to, that kind of stuff.
Right.
It's good to see, it's when it's first started out, people in Russia were speaking out against it. Then some of them got put into jail, and they all shut up. But now when he called up all these reservists, as you heard during the news there, and I'm looking at pictures of it on Moscow right now, about 1,500 people arrested so far for rioting in the streets, saying
record arrests.
Saying no to war, life for our children.
Wow. Yep. I saw a report that the day Putin announced mobilization, within hours, every single plane ticket leaving
They're
Russia
all sold out.
Booked.
All
sold out.
Yeah.
And they were charging, I'm looking at this, they were going to places that are visa-free countries so they could flee and get in. $16,000 a ticket to go to the United Airlines.
Wow.
$16,000. So the airlines are also gouging them at the same time, making a buck off them, which is horrible. Just load the people on the planes and go, you jerks. It doesn't say what airlines were doing this, but I'd like to know if there any of them were familiar with, or, if it's Vodka Airlines.
Right.
I don't know.
Hey, fresh off of the Facebook feed, Marion would also like to see Chuck dressed as a fairy.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, there's lots of other opportunities besides this party. I mean, just pop by any Tuesday night.
Yeah.
Any Tuesday. Yeah.
I almost wanted to buy this like rainbow unicorn costume, but my wife wanted me to do something a little sexier.
Nice.
I don't want to see that at all, but apparently Marion does.
It had a pink mane. It was gorgeous.
All right.
The lycra shimmered.
So Marion volunteered to help with the fall fair, the fall festival. So if you want to do that too, you can go to the Facebook page for KCHW and send us a message through the message button, and Michelle will get that and get back to you. And Marion's such an avid fan of the radio station, I think we should give her her own show.
Let's do it.
All right.
Let's
You hear that, Marion? All right. What do you want to do? We've lost a couple of our DJs. One of them just decided he'd been doing it for 8 years. He hit retirement and wanted to move along. And, of course, we lost Grumpy John a while back.
Mm-hmm.
And Jeff's really having a hard time fighting his cancer. He's not doing his show anymore. And once we get Michelle through this fall festival, I'm going to work with her and getting some new volunteers into the radio station for radio shows. So if you're listening, thinking about it, I also have a couple people that were in contact with me before COVID, but that was kind of a rough time to build, bring people in and train them because we didn't know, when the doors are going to be open or when the doors are going to be locked. And then with me being gone, it kind of slowed down things. But we're looking to kind of build up that on air staff again as we head for 2023. I feel so old.
Crazy.
Right? It is crazy. All right. So my hat's off to the Russians that are speaking out though, and leaving their country. And also, I was really surprised when they had their communist summit. That China spoke out against what Putin's doing.
Wow.
And expressed his dislike of it because they've been pretty supportive. And then India, the Indian Prime Minister actually getting in his face and telling him it's wrong. And he says, I told you it was wrong on the phone.
Wow.
and then re-saying it to his face. And then, of course, he never tells the truth. He does the opposite of what he says, obviously, because he told him that he's going to bring it. I'm paraphrasing words, but basically that we're going to be taking steps to bring it to an end.
Right.
a peaceful
Yeah.
end. And then he turns around a week later after he tells the Indian Prime Minister this and brings up 300,000 reservists. Well, that's not bringing it to a peaceful end.
Well, I think
That's
I think a
escalated.
Russian peaceful end and what we would consider peaceful end probably are not the same
Two
thing.
different things.
I don't think the visions are aligned.
No,
No.
not at all. Not at all. All right, let's, you guys, let's head for news and nuggets. There were some cute stories and news and nuggets today. We got a little time to fill. I'll go ahead as you guys navigate there and do the first one. It's the world record for the longest long-range rifle shot. All right. Either of you, any kind of marksman?
I don't know that you
I've-
can call me a marksman, but I certainly enjoy sending some lead down the range.
I've had expert qualifications twice on military range.
Ooh,
Yeah.
look at that.
That was in ROTC in high school, and for years all through high school they tried to recruit me to be a sniper.
I have a
And I'm
horrible.
like, no, I'm not going to do that.
I have a horrible time shooting. You see, I got two different eyes, right? One's like bigger than the other. Yeah, it doesn't work too well. So
I do too. I have
if
a left
I'm
one and a
aiming
right
in your
one.
general direction, you're probably pretty safe. All right. World's farthest long-range rifle shot was fired Tuesday, surpassing the previous record by nearly a half a mile. Previous record of 4 miles set in 2020 was defeated by a 4.4-mile target hit in the high desert of western Wyoming. The bullet took a whole 24 seconds to hit the 8-inch bullseye. There's even a video. You can check this out if you want to Google it. After setting the Wyoming state record of 3.06 miles in 2020, Scott Austin and Shepard Humphreys gathered a team of extreme long-range enthusiasts to tackle the world record. They began planning the project in late 2020 with custom parts coming in from all over the world and fine details. But it wasn't until May 2022 that the rifle was built and ready to fire. Record-setting shot didn't happen on the first trigger pull. It took several hours of number crunching and aim adjusting to get that 69th shot to hit the target. And I suppose they're doing like military. They got their little things that determine the weather direction and how much to compensate. That's tough stuff.
Well, that doesn't count. They need to have it down and say pull or something, and then come up quick. That's when it counts.
All right, Alan.
I once saw my dad take down a deer it was right at about a half a mile. It was like
Wow.
amazingly impressive.
All
I
right.
didn't even see it. He's like, there was like this little thing across there was like a canyon between us, and it was going up the head of the mountain on the other side, and he's like show me that deer over there, and I'm like, I don't see anything, and then there was a little dot falling down the hill after he shot.
Wow.
Wow.
Impressive.
Had a decent scope on.
All right, Alan, pick a story.
Let's talk about the Mickey collection.
Okay.
So, an Ohio man holds the record for the largest documented Mickey Mouse memorabilia collection in the world. John Bartenstein of Worthington, Ohio, has 3 entire rooms in his home filled with Mickey Mouse memorabilia, a collection of over 12,375 items.
Wow.
I imagine that would take a long time to collect.
And I would imagine that would take a long time to dust.
More than likely.
But how much is it worth?
Gosh, who knows?
All right.
350.
Chuck, how about the most underrated states to visit?
Most underrated states to visit. Yes. Do you go to the same beach every summer vacation without considering perhaps it's time to try out a new travel spot? It turns out most Americans do tend to stick to their old habits when it comes to traveling. A recent survey showed that 3 in 4 people are stuck in their ways and always go on vacation to the same kinds of places. That kind of sounds boring. Why would you do that? That's a lot of money. Says perhaps you should consider West Virginia. In a survey, West Virginia, Rhode Island, and Massachusetts came out on the top of the list of the most underrated states people would like to visit. Oh, okay.
Not California. It's not on the list, and this could be one of the reasons why. California has joined a growing number of states that allow residents to compost their bodies after death. New law signed by Governor Gavin Newsom this week directs California officials to develop regulations by 2027 for the practice known as natural organic reduction. Human composting typically involves putting a body into a steel vessel, then covering it with organic materials like straw, wood chips, and alfalfa. This is the way I want to go. Microbes break down the corpse and the plant matter, transforming the various components into nutrient-rich soil in roughly 30 days.
Yep.
So I could go from dead to table within like 3 months, right?
Right.
Oh.
Right. That gives farm to table a whole new meaning.
All right. I want my remains shipped to Chihuahua, and I want somebody to grow, like, I don't know, tomatoes with it or something like that. You can call them a Scott
Tomatoes.
So apparently the guy that wrote Soylent Green is a visionary.
Wow.
You know, I've actually been following this for a while. It's a pretty cool thing, and if I'm not mistaken, they've been doing it in Washington for a while. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It says right there.
It is coming up.
Yeah.
Staffers at special human composting funeral homes then remove the compost from the vessel and allow it to cure for 2 to 6 weeks. Family members can then use the human compost like any other type of compost, such as by mixing it into flower beds, or they can donate it to be spread in a conservation area. Washington is the first state in the nation, you are right, Chuck, to legalize human composting. It was 2019, followed by Colorado and Oregon, just like the weed.
Mm-hmm.
Hey,
Colorado
wait
was
a
first
minute.
there.
Now I know how I want to be composted.
Yeah.
All right.
It's all organic.
Vermont legalized the practice in June 2022. I was just thinking what I'd want, like a strain of my compost marijuana to be named.
Isn't there already a company out there that's like taking human remains and putting them in like a pod with a seed for a tree?
That's the thing, but it doesn't work.
It doesn't work?
No, it's not. The human body as it's composting is too toxic to be fertilizer.
Gosh. That's a shame. I would like to come back as an oak.
Eventually, yes, but by the time you get there, all the seeds and everything that floating around in there are rotten and dead. So
Bummer.
Yeah.
All right, Alan, take us to space.
We can certainly go to space. We're used to seeing Neptune in shades of deep blue, but in the newest images from James Webb Space Telescope, the ice giant glows with silvery light surrounded by rings and faint bands of dust. No spacecraft has visited Neptune since Voyager 2 swooped past it in 1989 on its way out of the solar system. But from a vantage point 4.4 billion kilometers away, Webb is showing us Neptune in a whole new light, near infrared specifically. And that's why Neptune looks so different from its usual azure self in the latest Webb images.
Wow.
Did you see that picture?
Yes, it's beautiful. I want to use it as a screensaver or something, background or something.
Right? Yeah.
Have it blown up, turned into a poster. It's beautiful.
It's pretty white.
Yeah.
This new Webb telescope has been producing some pretty amazing stuff.
Yeah.
NASA seems to have stepped up their game. It was a few weeks ago I played on the radio the sound of a black hole. That was pretty ominous sounding. And then a couple days ago, they released the sound of an asteroid hitting Mars, and it kind of went like this.
Nice.
With a little more echo to it, but that's pretty much it. Yeah. Well, there you go. That was it. That was exactly the sound, Chuck. Good job.
They sure have advanced since the Hubble.
Yes.
I mean, the Hubble would be like them sending you or I into space, Scott.
Right.
So,
With a cell phone camera.
yeah, with a cell phone camera.
Probably not even
Early
that
cell
good.
phone camera.
Yeah. One of those grainy fuzzy ones from the flip phones.
Yeah.
Right
You know,
on.
it really makes me excited to see what's next after that,
Right.
What
like
else
how
are
do
we
we
going to
upgrade?
find?
What's going to upgrade from the Webb telescope next time they send one up?
There could be
is that
another
one gonna be?
15 planets out there.
Mm-hmm.
I want them to catch somebody else's spaceship flying around.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be amazing?
Proof of life on another planet, sentient. All right. Chuck, take us to Virginia.
A Virginia man stopped at a gas station and walked out with a scratch-off lottery ticket worth $250,000. Miguel Morales said he was only after a cup of coffee when he stopped in the convenience store / gas station. But while inside, he decided to buy a gold jackpot scratch-off lottery ticket. He then said he was shocked when he scratched the ticket off and revealed the $250,000 top prize. Well, yeah, I would imagine you'd be shocked. That's appropriate. He said the winnings will go towards taking care of his family and bolstering his savings.
Nice. So what did they actually get out of the $250,000 prize? Like 60 or 70 bucks? after tax.
No, like
I think
half
you get to keep
though.
about 70. It's some enterprise that small. They probably go about 70, 60, 70%. Right?
Yeah.
That you get
Yeah.
to keep. Yeah.
The bigger you get, the worse it gets. So,
Yeah.
Right.
all right. Let's see. Not
I
even.
feel sorry for those guys that win those big $500,000 ones. Man, that must be rough.
Right. They get the
You gotta-
cost of
you
the
gotta-
ticket back.
You got to give away 70. You only end up with like you know, yeah,
$20.
$250,000, $250,000.
$250,000. That's not even enough to buy a Lamborghini or a Rolex, like our next story. If you're in the
Oh, you
market
could
for
get a Rolex, but it'd be a knockoff.
if you're in the market for a $25,000 Rolex, you better know a guy, and you better have $50,000. The inventory in the primary market for trophy watches is low. So low, there isn't even a wait list at some places. People with 5 figures to blow will turn to a gray market luxury watch dealer. A gray market luxury watch dealer will respond to your direct message right away. He doesn't care who you are as long as you got the cash. And he has the inventory. The only catch, you'll need to pay sometimes tens of $1,000s above suggested retail price. Really, a shortage of Rolexes. How are we going to survive?
That sounds like there's something going on with those guys.
Yeah, a gray market dealer.
Yeah, that sounds a little sketchy.
He brings it to you. It's on the inside of his trench coat.
Right.
Yeah, that's creepy. All right.
Only he's got one.
Have either of you heard of the game PUBG?
No.
Okay, well, let's skip
No.
that story because I haven't.
Pubug?
Yeah, I've
Nope,
never
never
heard
heard
of
of
it
it.
either. Apparently, it's too violent for Afghanistan, though. They've blocked it.
Too violent for the Taliban.
Wow.
Yeah, it must be bad.
That's pretty horrible.
Let's see here. Let's wrap up with this section with it's Alan's turn. Get paid $50,000 to move to Iceland. I want to find out about this.
I'm on my way.
All right.
While the grass isn't always greener on the other side, sometimes it actually is. Now you can test that theory. Yogurt maker Siggy's is hiring for a freelance gig, officially dubbed Chief Simplicity Officer, which would task you with just that. The company will pay one person $50,000 to move to Iceland, one of the world's happiest countries, and document their experience with its newly implemented 4-day work week. The job requires you to capture content for Siggy's social channels and document the mission of simplicity while also experiencing all that Iceland has to offer, including the northern lights and Icelandic food. Along with that $50,000 paycheck, you also get a camera for content creation and insider connections to hiking guides, restaurant owners, and chefs, and more. To apply for the role, you'll need a valid passport, strong writing skills, a passion for photography, an adaptable nature, and a desire to live a simpler life.
I think I can qualify for this.
That doesn't sound like a bad gig.
No.
Laura has been trying to get us to move to Iceland for years, but I know.
There's your opportunity, sir.
There you go. You get,
Be a yogurt maker.
Be a yogurt maker.
Wow.
huh. All right.
The thing is, she lived there as a kid, and she has nothing but horror stories to tell about how awful the weather and everything was all the time.
But she wants
And
you to
now
move
she wants
there.
to go back, and I'm like, no.
You know what, Chuck? I think you could actually make it doing that job because you're a very imaginative kind of guy. You're very creative. There's no reason
Yeah.
you couldn't be a content creator.
And
Hmm?
and come up with, is it coming up with yogurt flavors? No. No,
It's
it's a-
it's
okay.
basically a content creator that's in Iceland.
Huh. Interesting. I've been considering my own TikTok channel, but I don't know about that.
Uh-oh.
It would be my adventures in my ADHD home repair.
Nice.
Yeah, and it would chronicle me starting a task and partially finishing 20 others before I eventually give up and do something completely different. Day after day after day.
My curiosity is why is Alan sucking up to Chuck?
I'm not. I just think he's a creative guy. I
He is
can
a
see
creative
him being a content creator.
He is a
I
great
did.
guy.
I was up till 5 a.m. last night reorganizing the cabinets and drawers in the kitchen.
Nice.
Who does that?
It started with me emptying the dishwasher really quick before bed and realizing that I put in a couple new cabinets in the last week and I needed to like reorganize some stuff, and I started working on that, and then next thing you know I had all the drawers. I waxed our drawers so they slide easier. And yeah, they're all nice and clean now.
I thought that
though.
was something to do with his underwear.
You're so domestic.
But you know what I didn't do? I did not empty the dishwasher.
I was too busy waxing my drawers.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah.
It actually sounds like a thing.
Yeah, it does.
I can't do the show today, guys. I gotta wax my drawers.
Marion can totally identify with the ADHD thing.
Hmm.
You guys might be on the same page. She just posted on Facebook.
Danny, is that who you said?
No, Marion.
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 All right.
Yep.
Danny checked in too. I saw
Is-
Danny on there. Danny checked in. Good
Yep,
morning,
Danny's
Danny.
there.
Thanks for tuning in. That's a friend of yours.
Some
Isn't it?
some
that's
guy named
cousin.
Alan.
Yeah.
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 He's like engaging instead of paying attention to the show.
Yeah. He's
Right.
just I
Why
think I saw
would
him
today
post on
be different
Facebook
than
a few
any
minutes
other
ago,
day,
too.
Scott?
It's
I
all
never
about
pay attention to the show.
it's all about Chuck being in a fairy costume. That's the funny
Yeah.
part. All right.
Why is my life funny to you?
All right. Here's a good question as we move on to bits and breaks. I think I sent you guys both an email with some stuff in it this morning. It says, "Hey guys, I listen all the time, and I know you're dog and cat lovers, so I hope you get a good laugh out of this one. My boyfriend and I recently moved in together. We each have a dog, and we're now, all four of us, living in a condo with a dishwasher. About a week after moving in, my boyfriend saw me put the dog food bowls in the machine, and because it was full, started up. He sort of freaked out. He said he was grossed out that I put dog food bowls in with human dishes, and I thought he was joking, but he wasn't. Later that night, once after we were done watching some Netflix, he unloaded the dishwasher and hand-washed all of the dishes. Question for us is, to the pet owning audience, am I gross for putting dog food bowls into the dishwasher with people bowls and dishes? What do you guys think?
Well, the dishwasher makes them clean. So no, I don't think it's gross.
I'm going to say no, it's not gross either because it's got the heating element in it, and the heat kills everything. So it's basically sanitizing them.
Soap and
Well,
hot water?
I don't
So-
understand
so-
what the issue is.
So say you have some food on a dish, and it all happens to all of us. Sometimes the dish goes a couple days without the dishes getting done. What kind of bacteria is living on that dish after sitting on your counter for 2 days?
Right.
Right, compared to your dogs, licking their bowl clean and having a little bit of dog slobber in the bottom.
I've been out of dishes before and actually used the cat's bowl for cereal.
Right.
Oh, goodness.
And it
Boy,
was
that-
dirty.
That's a whole other level.
Is it okay to use the pet's bowl if it's been
Man,
cleaned?
they get some good gravy.
Yeah.
Mhm. Oh. I will have to say I've seen people using like plastic bowls and stuff for their water dog dishes, and I always prefer stainless steel because it's much easier to keep clean and sanitary.
True story.
I've seen some really gross dog water bowls that I would not let my dogs drink out of.
Yeah, I heard a story of somebody who was house sitting, and they said that the person's like animal bowl, because they had lots of animals, actually had algae growing in it. It's
Oh,
like,
mhm.
those
Wow.
poor animals. So she cleaned it, but I'm sure, she was just there house sitting, so I'm sure it got dirty again.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of creepy.
Well, I was actually house sitting for somebody once, pet sitting, and the same thing happened, only I could not get the bowl clean. It was this like soft, sort of flimsy plastic, like thick rubber thing. It was so deeply embedded with mold and mildew and algae that you couldn't get it clean. It was disgusting.
Somebody brought us at the radio station one time a 5-gallon, jug for the cooler with their natural. They said they had really good water on their well, and they brought us a bottle of it. And after they dropped it off and left, I noticed that there was algae in the bottle.
Oh.
It's like, yeah, I'm not serving this to the DJs, or maybe I will.
No, it's good for you.
It's good for you, a little algae.
It's a
It builds
it's a
it builds
cleansing.
character.
Ding. All right, Alan, Milani, bits and breaks. What do you got?
For the one that you sent me or the one for today?
I think you've got 3 of them on what I sent you there. So just pick the first one, and we'll go round robin.
I do. So these are ranked post we got busy rituals or post anything rituals, really. The one that ranked the highest was cuddling.
So after busy.
So right
Number
after
one
you're
thing
busy,
to do is cuddle. Okay.
right when you're done being busy, the number one thing people like to do is cuddle. Um,
Mm-hmm.
well, I wasn't talking about that kind of busy.
Well, that's what the story refers to. I just cut out a word, so it
Sure.
confused you. Okay.
Sure. Number two was watching TV or a movie. Number three was drinking some water.
Because I'm always thirsty.
Number four is getting dressed. Number five is spooning.
Aw.
Number six is nothing. You just lay there. Number seven.
For
Why
Alan,
am I
that's before
reading
and
this?
after.
I don't understand why I'm reading this. Number seven is have deep, meaningful conversations. Number eight is make food.
Yeah.
Number nine is order takeout. And number 10 would be going on social media.
All right.
What?
All right.
Number 11 is going home.
Going home.
Number 12 is going home to see my wife.
Oh.
Ow.
Oh.
It's a joke. Bad joke. Bad joke,
You-
Scott.
wow.
Bad joke, Scott.
I didn't even wear my boots today. That one got kind of deep.
All right, Chuck, save us.
Okay, I got to be honest. I had about 20 messages come in, and I didn't hear the beginning to what we're actually doing.
So I sent you the bits and breaks today in
Yes.
your email. Yes.
Yes, I
And
have
you
it open
spoke the
right
first
now.
one. You guys pay
Okay.
attention to the show.
Okay,
Hold on.
Oh no! We suck again!
we suck again.
Or
Well, I
no,
forgot- I forgot to
maybe
mute- I
this
forgot
one.
to
This
mute
one's
my
for you,
phone.
Chuck. This one. Hold on.
Yeah.
When I think of the time and the money I've wasted on your training, and you still turn out to be a blithering idiot, you're an utter failure. You make me sick.
All right, on with the show now.
And I don't even show up half the
I
time.
know.
I think if we actually paid attention to the show, Scott, that would ruin the whole dynamic.
Oh,
I think
yeah,
it might.
Yeah.
It might. Yeah. So anyway, this is a test to see if you are a shopaholic.
Okay.
Are you guys shopaholics?
That depends.
Sometimes.
I think I'm, I was feeling, this last year for me has been a whole blur, with medical stuff. And it's all like I'm just now able to get up and start going out and doing outside stuff on my own. And it's almost fall already. So I was sort of like lamenting the loss of the year and already being fall and close to winter again. And I started shopping for jackets. And it made me feel better because I found some really great jackets.
Retail therapy.
Right. I might be a shopaholic.
And you're
Anyway.
probably saving money because you don't have to buy 4Xs anymore.
Right.
Right. Well, yeah, and not only that, I've had to buy all new clothes. Like every single piece of clothing I own is new, and I don't have anything for winter yet, so I need to buy all new winter clothes.
All right.
Chuck can now fit into short shorts.
I can. You should see it. It's beautiful.
You know,
I wear
there,
my fairy wings.
there must be something wrong with me because I want to see a pair before you lost your weight, a pair of your big underwear next to a pair of your little underwear. Is that wrong?
It's funny. I threw all those away, but I have like my middle pair.
Okay.
My middle size, and it's still pretty ridiculous.
Sorry. Signs
You
you're a
guys need to do-
shopaholic.
You guys need to
Anyway.
do that in private messages.
Okay. Sorry.
Right. We should. Well, we should. We were already talking about that earlier.
Why are they
Oh.
both? Why are both examples of your underwear panties?
I believe he calls them manties.
The manties. Okay.
Well, they're all freshly waxed and ready to go. So
Freshly waxed manties.
yeah, freshly waxed and ready to go.
I'm really enjoying today's show. Thank you. Thank you both.
So so anyway, there's this test to see if you're a shopaholic. It says people who become preoccupied with buying stuff and repeatedly spend money on items regardless of need are commonly referred to as shopaholics. Scientists call it compulsive buying. We all know the new shopaholic test could tell if you should leave your credit card at home when heading to the mall.
Okay.
This test includes 6 statements for which individuals answer on a 7-point scale from strongly disagree to strongly agree. My closet has unopened shopping bags in it. Disagree. Are we all doing this together as we go along? We should do this together.
Yeah. No
We
unopened
could.
shopping bags. That's
Yeah.
a sign,
No.
definitely.
None for me.
I I don't have that. Too much clutter. I don't have a closet, so there's that. Uh, Others might consider me a shopaholic.
No,
I don't think so.
not me. Well, Amazon might consider me a shopaholic.
Right.
I think Amazon's pretty happy with me.
Yeah. Yeah. I know the UPS guy very well. We're good friends. Much of my life centers around buying things.
No, not me.
I would say to the point that I buy things to improve my life, improve my functionality and my surroundings.
I haven't got used to the whole retired thing, so I'm buying things out of boredom.
You need to do the show 7 days a week, brother.
Oh, no. I'm not that
It'll
bored.
it'll save you money.
Can't shop if you're on the radio.
And this next one, I think if anyone answers no, they're lying. It says, I buy things I don't need.
True story. Yeah,
Buy lots of things I don't need.
I strongly agree.
No.
I think it
There are
depends on
things
your
I-
income level.
No. Things you don't need and things you don't use are two entirely different things.
Well, there might be one and the same.
like that special vegetable chopper that sits in the corner of the cabinet that never gets used.
Right.
Right.
I keep buying
Like, oh,
things
that's
for my
neat.
car. So the car already works. It doesn't need anything. I just keep buying things to make the car cuter.
Nice.
About a month ago, I bought a new swinging a porch swing. You know, like a porch couch swing that's got padded cushions on it. Really nice. It's still sitting in the box out of my porch.
Nice.
That's
It was
a whole
on
different thing
clearance.
though, because you got to put it together.
Right.
That's a spring project.
And that's right. That's gonna sit there till spring. I buy things I do not plan to buy. That's generally how I shop.
I intentionally, everything I buy is intentional.
I'm not so good about that.
Yeah.
I go to the grocery store for two things. I come home with $300 in groceries.
Yeah.
It's
And about
bad.
12 8-cent bags.
Yeah, it's bad. I consider myself an impulse purchaser.
I'm totally down with that one. I do that.
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm terrible.
Well, that's the whole advertising and promotion and marketing of products is built in to make you an impulse purchaser. So.
Well, like the thing I was doing last night, I was looking at my kitchen. I'm like, oh, I have an empty space right there that could probably really be more functional if I hung a cabinet there. So on a whim, I decided to look up cabinets, and I found them the right size, and I put it up, and I bought it, and then I'm like, oh, there's another little 4-inch gap. Oh, I found a 4-inch spice rack holder. And oh, I have another 6-inch gap. Oh, I have a little pull-out thing that I could put my cutting boards on. So it went on this tangent, and then I ended up buying like 4 sets of LED lights and like the rope lights and accessories. And yeah, I need to stop.
All right. Good
I'm
job, Chuck. I think we all
Yep,
can
yep.
fit into those categories in one spot or another where we're buying things that we don't really need to. I have, a new place. And I sold it. I didn't want to haul everything to Maine all the way across the country. So I got rid of so much stuff. So I keep finding things, oh, I need that. And I left it, or I sold it in Chihuahua and I have to go out and buy it again. So that's really irritating. And then empty spots in my new place. It's like, oh, this needs what I like to call a chotsky. It's something that's pretty that doesn't mean anything. It's like, oh, I need something to put here. And so I've been buying stupid stuff like that. But I do it at yard sales, so it's cheap. And then it gives you something to do.
Right.
So.
You know what I end up doing a lot is I buy stuff, like for instance, like we're getting some more. We're redoing our front porch, and we needed like patio furniture for the front porch, but our porch is narrow, so we can't have anything very big. And I stopped myself, but there was the hardware store, and there was stuff on clearance, and I have a bad habit of buying something that I need because it's on clearance, but it's not what I like, it's not what I want. But I'll buy the one I don't want because it's cheap, and then I end up not using it because I don't like it, and then buying the one that was more expensive anyway. Over and over again.
That's not good.
And then you can't return the other thing because it was on clearance.
I always do. I always tell Brenda because she buys a lot of stuff that's on clearance or on sale too. And I keep and her excuse is, well, I'm saving money. I said, no, that's not saving, that's spending.
But it's on clearance.
Right.
But if it was something you're going to buy anyway.
Right. It doesn't always necessarily work that way though.
No.
It's that whole clearance tag thing.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we are listening to KCHW Chewil, looking at 11:15. Before we go to break, I've got to do this just because I spent a lot of time on it this morning. It's what Scott thinks about in the shower. All right, you guys, I know you have a problem.
It's ironic because I think about Scott in the shower.
And I think about you dressed as a fairy, so there's something.
Oh, wow.
All right.
Wow.
All right, here's some things I think you guys can agree with, especially this first one. We squint at the sun because it's bright. We squint at people because they're not.
Oh, that's great.
Movies rarely demonstrate how to use a fire extinguisher and instead indicate that it's better to use them to knock people out. It's true. How often do they actually use a fire extinguisher to put out a fire? It's usually used to hit somebody in the head or to create a cloud of smoke.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. All right, which I think is kind of cool. Have you ever just fired off a fire extinguisher just to do it?
Yes.
When I was working with Frito-Lay, we used to have training on it.
Ooh.
I don't know how much training you actually need on a fire extinguisher, but they would put us through a 4-hour course.
I never used one before, and I had an extra one time, and I said, I want to know what it feels like, so I used it.
Yeah.
Have you ever had to use one for real?
No. But I know how now.
I one time forgot that I had put bacon under the broiler.
Huh.
Yeah.
And sat down to eat.
I have had to use one. We started a fire in our fireplace without the flue open.
Ooh.
And we didn't know that you had to open the flue. I was new to the whole fireplace thing. So the flames in there were rolling pretty good. So I had to empty a fire extinguisher in our fireplace. This is a long time ago.
Wow.
I used one time, but I needed to, but I didn't do it right. I thought it was like a hand grenade, so I pulled that pin and I just threw the fire extinguisher at the fire.
I guess maybe training courses are necessary.
See? Yeah, especially for us idiots.
Yeah.
All right. Movies rarely demonstrate how to act. Oh, I did that one. People who never experience poverty are likely. Let me start over. People who never experience poverty. Shut up, Alan. People who've never experienced poverty are unlikely to know what it feels like to be deeply afraid of their mailbox.
Yeah.
There's a bill in there. I know it.
That gives you like straight up anxiety. Or somebody knocks on the front door and you like hide behind the couch,
Yeah.
Most of my adult life,
Yeah.
I hated the mailbox.
Yeah.
Some kind of bill in there.
Or when the phone rings.
Yeah.
You're never completely useless. You can always serve as a bad example. Yay. All right.
To this day, the university that I attended, every incoming freshman still gets a letter of or a copy of my letter that I wrote to the school board to get reinstated after I was removed from school the first time.
You're that famous?
Yeah.
Wow.
Right? Eastern Oregon University. Everyone gets my letter.
Wow.
As far as I know.
What not to do.
Is this something you can read on the air someday for us, maybe next week?
I don't know. It's been about 10 years since I actually verified. But I had a good 15, 20 year run at least. I might still give it out.
Wow.
I haven't heard otherwise, but
wow.
Yeah. Well, my letter was so well written that they asked me and I had to sign a form to say that they could distribute my letter that I wrote.
Wow. Was it negative about the school?
No. It was about my experiences and the mistakes that I had made and what I was going to do to correct them.
Oh, so you were a bad example. Excellent.
Which I promptly did not do and continue to do. Yeah. The next time they asked me to leave, they said, "Don't bother coming back."
You should re-enroll just to find out if they still give it out.
Right. I don't know if I'm allowed on campus or not.
Find out if he's still on the list. Deep sleepers are essentially leaving their body completely unattended for about 8 hours a day. Chuck?
Yes.
Let's see. The Where's Waldo audiobook would not be as popular. All right. This one's for you, Alan. So with holidays coming up, stealing candy from a baby is not as bad as giving candy to a baby.
I don't know if that's necessarily true.
Well, if it's just like I'm talking about a baby, man, a newborn. You're going to choke on that. All right.
Yeah.
All right. The opposite of a fortune teller is a historian. That one was really deep in the shower today. All right. Having kids is like having little best friends that are broke all the time.
Half the time they have more money than I do, though. I don't know how that works out.
You can now track your age by the drug commercials that apply to you.
Oh, my goodness.
And they run a story every time the oldest person dies, even though statistically speaking, it's the least surprising death possible.
Right.
Alan, I think you'll like this one too. Most people would say they're smarter than a caveman, but most people couldn't survive in the wild for longer than a week.
Right. I'd make it about 20 minutes.
Chuck, you can relate to this one. Being motivated to lose weight on a full stomach is easy. Being motivated to lose weight on an empty stomach is the challenge.
Yes.
It's like never grocery shop on an empty stomach. Always eat before you grocery shop.
You can drink your drink, but you can't food your food.
Okay.
Says you.
Says me. All right. And this last one didn't really happen in the shower. It was after I stepped out of the shower and saw myself in the mirror. My mustache is just bangs for my mouth.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Told you it was deep. All right, sorry, that's what Scott thinks about in the shower, and it takes us right to break here at KCHW Chewelah. When we come back, Alan Milani with local birthdays. That's as a reminder to go find his calendar.
I'm already prepared. I got it out already.
All right, we got some more goodies for you, and we always wrap up with the day's odd news. We'll be right back. It's KCHW 102.7. Thanks for being here.
Don't forget, you can listen online too at kchw.org.
You're listening to 102.7 KCHW Chewelah.
Your KCHW morning show made possible by a donation from God-Fearing Brothers Auto Center. God-Fearing Brothers specializes in auto services, including repair, maintenance, and detailing. They also stock a full selection of tires, make glass repairs, offer towing, and have an auto sales lot on the corner of Highway 395 and Main Street at the light. For more information, you can visit the Auto Service Center at 806 East Main in Chewelah. Find them online at godfearingbrothers.com or by phone at 509-935-6414. KCHW-FM thanks God-Fearing Brothers for supporting public radio in Stevens County.
The Public News Service Daily Newscast for September 22nd, 2022. I'm Mary Sherman. The Federal Reserve raised a key interest rate Wednesday and said more increases are expected in the future as it battles rising inflation. It's the fifth increase by the U.S. Central Bank in 6 months. As the housing market navigates a sea of obstacles, community-level organizations say government should take a closer look at their strategies for supporting older neighborhoods.
Construction of new homes continues to lag, in part because of supply chain issues. But groups such as NeighborWorks Home Partners say there are plenty of neighborhoods in Minneapolis and St. Paul, as well as surrounding suburbs, that have an aging stock. Chief Program Officer Beth Heiser says the scale of funds set aside for things like home improvement loans hasn't kept up with demand.
We're seeing more and more folks trying to age in their homes, but because of a variety of financial situations have not been able to keep up with maintenance.
And she says there's a lot of first-time home buyers who can't afford to take on debt for necessary repairs. I'm Mike Moen reporting.
As states debate whether to stay committed to fossil fuels, an online scorecard gives people with retirement accounts a glimpse into what role their investment portfolios play in keeping the industry funded. The nonprofit As You Sow is out with its latest fossil-free funds ratings. The group's Andrew Montes says they grade investment firms based on which energy sources their funds are linked to. He adds it might not be as obvious to most account holders.
Just to use one from a major asset manager from Vanguard, within the Vanguard 500 index fund, you're going to find investments in JP Morgan Chase. JP Morgan Chase is the highest lender to fossil fuels.
In the past year, fossil fuel company stocks have netted returns even in a down market, but some believe the gains are short term. California is going to need tens of thousands of workers over the next 6 months as it continues to build the broadband network and bring high-speed internet to underserved areas.
Now the feds have awarded $5.8 million to the Communication Workers of America to supercharge their workforce training program. Frank Arce with the CWA says the union is partnering with the Chabot Las Positas Community College District in the Bay Area to expand their apprenticeship program.
We're planning on focusing on underserved communities, really making sure it's a locally based workforce, people of color, women, veterans, young people.
I'm Suzanne Potter.
Colleges and universities in Kentucky are looking at new ways to address the equity gap among their students through specialized training for their governing boards. President of the Kentucky Council on Post-Secondary Education, Dr. Aaron Thompson, explains college governing boards are in a position to help increase student success, especially for people who come from historically marginalized communities.
This relationship is about what data to use, how you use it, bringing people together. It's an ability to create a whole new way of thinking about board training.
Thompson adds measures adopted during the pandemic are expected to help ease the financial burden for students. This is PNS. Now to Arkansas, where folks are promoting the goals of peace and justice in the state. We get the story from Danielle Smith.
Peace Week organizers are taking on some tough topics from hunger and racism to mental health and war crimes. But they say knowledge is necessary in order to build stronger communities that are more inclusive and less violent. Bob Estes, lead organizer for Arkansas Peace Week, says everyone is welcome at the events.
We are working with the 7th Street Mural Project, social justice murals that were put up in the wake of George Floyd's murder and beyond. And it's a focal point for social justice in the city.
Events today through Saturday will commemorate the 65th anniversary of the school's desegregation by Black students who became known as the Little Rock Nine.
Mental health advocates say expanded anxiety screenings could have a long-term positive impact on the health of Americans. The U.S. Preventive Services Task Force is proposing routine anxiety screening in primary care for adults younger than 64 without symptoms. 40% of women and 26% of men experience an anxiety disorder in their lifetime, often starting in childhood. Gina Terlizzi is executive director of NAMI Missouri, the state chapter of the National Alliance on Mental Illness. She explains anxiety disorders are much different than the anxious feelings a person may experience throughout their life.
Anxiety, worry, and doubt. These are all normal human emotions. The difference is it something that is impacting your ability to function as a person, to function as a member of your family, to function in your role in the workplace?
She notes that a patient might not even realize they are experiencing anxiety because it can manifest in different ways, including stomach aches or trouble sleeping. Wildfires in Wyoming and across the West are creating bigger impacts on snowpack that supplies farms, energy production, and drinking water for millions of downstream users, according to a new study.
Wildfires in Wyoming and across the West are creating bigger impacts on snowpack that supplies farms, energy production, and drinking water for millions of downstream users, according to a new study. Report co-author Stephen Fosnacht says the 2020 Mullen Fire in southern Wyoming and Cameron Peak Fire in Colorado were both very large fires that destroyed forests in places that have historically not seen fires spark or spread.
They were burning at this high elevation elevation where the snowpack is deep. And they burned up there not because of a lack of snow, they burned because of lack of rain in the summer.
Researchers found that snow in wildfire-burned locations is now melting roughly 3 weeks earlier than normal. And Fosnacht says as climate change expands fire zones into more snow areas, water managers and others may need to make adjustments. I'm Eric Galatas.
This is Mary Sherman for Public News Service, member and listener supported. We're heard on radio stations big and small, your favorite podcast platform, and you can find our trust indicators at publicnewsservice.org.
KCHW 102.7 FM, the music education station, is pleased to announce its first fully produced syndicated radio program that's available to public radio stations worldwide. It's called Swinging with Dr. Jazz, and you can hear it locally at 6 p.m. every Sunday night, right here on Northern Lights Public Radio. Each episode features 6 swing-era bands from the 30s and 40s. Swinging with Dr. Jazz, Sundays at 6 on KCHW 102.7 and online at northernlightspublicradio.com.
We're back. It's KCHW 102.7. I think I messed up because I always hated when we're coming back from break and I've got to reset the computers at the stations. My head's always turned this way, like I'm looking off into nowhere. So I put the screen up behind my normal computer screen, and now I couldn't see the volume to turn us back up. So that's why I was like leaning into the camera, going, "Oh my God, are we gonna make it on time?"
Is this thing on?
Can you see my nose?
I thought you were squinting at us because we were stupid.
Oh, that was kind of a good deep thought, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Squint at the sun because it's bright. We squint at other people because they're not.
I was trying to multitask. I'm over here paying bills while the show's coming back on.
Oh,
nice.
I was eating my Chinese food from last night. That's right.
Nice.
I moved to a place that actually has a Chinese restaurant. I miss Chinese food.
What is that like?
Oh, it's wonderful.
I'll bet.
Yeah.
You have Mongolian barbecue? You probably have Thai food there too, don't you?
No. We're actually my daughter, just in case sometimes she'll come back and watch the show. Congratulations to her. She got a big fat promotion at her job.
Nice.
Yeah.
Already?
Yeah. Huge.
Wow.
So huge promotion. Yeah. She's like a project manager now. And so we went out to celebrate, and there are currently, so this is a town, the population varies between summer and winter from about 3,000 to 5,000. So we're kind of in the middle of that where people are leaving. But it only has, and this isn't counting, let's see, we got a Subway, we got a McDonald's, and we got a Dunkin' Donuts. Okay? No coffee shops. Okay? Ooh. But we only have 3 restaurants for all these people. So we wanted to take her out to dinner last night. We couldn't get into the first 2 restaurants because there was lines out of them on a Wednesday night, and there's no events going on. There's a restaurant shortage and a building shortage, and I imagine the reason they probably don't have a restaurant is because the money to build one from the ground up and all the equipment would be astronomical. And there is an old one that you could. There is one old one. It's bought. Somebody's rebuilding it, but it's going to be like breakfast only. And I think there's one other breakfast only place. So we ended up last night because the other 2 are newer. We ended up, I think, at the Chinese restaurant because we couldn't get into the other 2. But and that was packed too. So it was just kind of weird. On a Wednesday night, we actually really only have 3 set-down restaurants you can go to at night for over 3,000 people, and it's not enough because apparently everybody wanted to go out and eat last night.
But don't you get like a free lobster roll?
So disappointed because I thought since we're right where the lobsters are getting caught, that it'd be cheaper, and it's not. It's just as expensive as buying a Maine lobster in Washington, and in some places even more expensive. And now there's a big scare going on because conservation organization that works for the government has come out and said that the Maine lobster fishing is endangering another aquatic animal, and I can't remember what it is off the top of my head. But it's looking at shutting down the Maine lobster industry, so everybody's freaking out.
Wow.
So yeah, scary stuff.
Their whole economy relies on lobsters. Wow.
For 200 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, being a lobsterman is the thing here, and a very important part of their culture. So as you imagine, there's a big fight brewing. So
yeah.
All right. Moving along. What?
I agree with things to take, ecological steps and protection steps, but at the same time, you got to balance that with, destroying everybody's livelihood,
And then they've been trying to show how they've been their practices are protecting their industry and protecting the lobsters, so that there's more lobsters. They're not overfishing them and that kind of stuff. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. All right, moving along. Local birthdays, though, from the other side of the continent. It's Alan Milani with our local Chewelah birthdays.
And for September 22nd, we have none.
None.
We do, however, there's an event. The American Legion Riders at Post 54 are meeting at 6:30 p.m.
All right. Well, at least you had something. All right. Thank you for your lack of effort. And that's always a reminder to go get on the Lions Club. Next month is when they do all their signups and submit it for the following year. So you can go to our website. There's a link to Lions International. Plus, there's a PDF you can download to get yourself on the local Lions Club calendar. And then you can drop it off at the front of our building in an envelope and put on that envelope that it's for Tom Walters, and he will get it to the right people. There you go. All right. Nice. Let's see. We're going to move on then to celebrity birthdays. It's you, Chuck.
Okay. Tony Basil is 79.
Hey, Mickey.
Sherry. Is that who that is?
Yes. One hit wonder. Hey, Mickey, you're so fine. Yeah. That's her only hit song.
Sherry Belafonte is 68. I'm assuming somehow related to Harry Belafonte?
Yes.
Okay. Joan Jett is 64.
Wow, we got the whole bunch of one-hit wonders there. Okay, yeah. She's a two-hit
wonder.
Joan Jett
is not a one-hit wonder. Joan Jett is an icon. Come on now.
Two-hit wonder.
She's a legend.
Show me another song that charted from Joan Jett besides I Love Rock and Roll and Crimson and Clover. Come on. You can't.
Her personality tops the charts.
Okay.
Scott.
All right. I won't argue with that, but I'm just saying she's a two-hit wonder.
Opera singer Andrea Bocelli is 64. Can you name any of his hits there, Scott?
No. Well, he had that one with Celine Dion, but I can't remember what it was called. Yeah.
Scott Baio is 62.
Yeah, he's a one-hit wonder, just one TV show. That second one he did, Joni Loves Chachi, quickly canceled.
Yes. Catherine Oxenberg from Dynasty is 61. My grandparents used to watch that show. Ooh.
Ouch.
That was mean. Yeah. Sorry, people. I cannot pronounce this. Mireli Enos, the wife in World War Z.
That's how she's known.
Yeah, the wife in World War Z. She's 47.
One-hit wonder.
Billie Piper, who I'm actually a big fan of. She was Rose. She was Rose Tyler in Doctor Who.
Okay.
And she was also in there was the movie, the TV show about there was like a Frankenstein character and a whole bunch of like all the traditional horror movie trope characters. Anyway, she was in that.
Okay.
Sorry. I go off sometimes.
Yeah.
Tatiana Maslany, also a big fan. She-Hulk, Attorney at Law, and she was in Orphan Black. She's an awesome actress. 37. Tom Felton from the Harry Potter films is 35.
So Tatiana Maslany, has anybody seen She-Hulk, Attorney at Law?
No.
I've watched the first episode, and it was actually it was surprisingly good.
Really?
It was way better than what the previews looked like. It wasn't, it's not a great show. It's silly and campy, but, it's Marvel.
Did she turn into a Hulk and, fight crime at the same time she's an attorney?
No, she's an attorney who accidentally gets I'm going to give some spoilers away to people who haven't seen it. she gets in an accident or something, I believe, and somehow I don't remember exactly what happened, but she gets infected with her. She's Bruce Banner's niece, and he helps her when she gets injured, and somehow gets his blood transferred into her.
Ooh.
And she ends up as a Hulk, but she doesn't want to be a Hulk. She's an attorney, and she's worked her whole life for her firm, and she wants to stay an attorney.
Wow. Scary. All right. I got to watch last night the new Obi-Wan Kenobi on Disney Plus.
Oh, nice.
Yes. So I went like into the third episode last night, and it's while they're waiting for Luke Skywalker to grow up, right? So Obi-Wan starts off, he's on Tatooine, or however you say that. And last night's episode, actually, lightsaber battle with
Darth Vader?
Yes. How cool was that? I mean, you haven't seen that in so long. So yeah, it was very, because it's basically it's after he left Darth for dead, and now Darth is hunting him. So pretty cool. Pretty cool show. And
I've seen the first 2 episodes. I haven't gone past that.
And it's actually got Ewan McGregor in it, and that other guy that played Anakin. What's his name?
That other guy.
I should know.
The
skinny boy.
The guy.
Hayden
right?
Christensen. That's it. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Moving on to It Happened Today, since I just told you what happened last night. 1692, the last hangings for witchcraft occurred in the United States. 1692.
Wow.
All right. You're safe now, Chuck. 1951, first live sporting event seen coast to coast in the United States. A college football game between Duke and the University of Pittsburgh was televised on NBC. It was 1951. On to 1994. Get this, sitcom Friends debuted. 1994.
Talk about feeling old.
Yeah. 2003, David Hempelman Adams became the first person to cross the Atlantic in an open-air wicker basket hot air balloon.
Wow.
I wish I could travel around the country that way. It'd be so affordable.
2003? It wasn't until 2003?
Yeah.
That's surprising. I thought people were like going around the world in like the 1800s.
Apparently
That
nobody
was a
just
book,
crossed the
Chuck.
Atlantic without...
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was a movie.
Around the world in 80 days.
Yeah, something like that.
Book.
Okay.
All right, 2004, Federal Communications Commission voted to fine CBS a record $550,000 for indecency related to the Super Bowl, in which Janet Jackson showed something she wasn't supposed to. All right. 2008, U.S. Mint unveiled the first changes to the penny in 50 years, with Abraham Lincoln's portrait still on the front, but new designs replacing the Lincoln Memorial on the back. I didn't even notice. Who examines
looks
a
at
penny?
pennies?
Exactly.
Why do we even still have those things?
Because some people have older houses and they fit perfectly into your screw-in breaker box.
Okay. That
Bring
makes
your whole house
sense.
down. All right, 2015, Volkswagen admitted that 11 million cars were wrongly programmed to appear to emit lesser emissions. Who trusts Volkswagen today?
Wow.
Yeah. All right, 2019, in an effort to provide damaging narratives about the Democratic presidential candidate, Donald Trump admitted he spoke to Ukrainian's president about Joe Biden's son and then attempted to blackmail him for some money. At least that was the story. All right, special events. Where do we leave off? I think it's Alan's turn.
Yes, sir. So today is the first day of autumn. It's Businesswoman's Day.
I'd like to find a
Chainmail
businesswoman to support me in the style I've become accustomed.
On a brighter note, your kid can support you in your old age now.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that's a positive.
Yeah, it is.
Well, at least I got that going for me, which is nice.
At least my kid's rich.
It's Chainmail Day.
Okay.
Nice.
It's Centenarian's Day.
That's like a half horse, half man, right?
Centenarian?
No, it's not.
Does that mean
100-year-old people.
Yeah, 100-year-old.
Yeah.
I like
100-year-old horse people?
Yes.
Horse people.
Yeah.
Elephant Appreciation Day.
Which are just giant horses.
Falls Prevention Awareness Day. Probably because it's the first day of fall.
Okay.
Is it fall? Is it like officially fall now?
Yes.
I believe it's officially fall.
It is.
Oh yeah, 22nd. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, it is. Wow.
Girls' Night In Day. It's it's Scotty's Day.
Oh.
Hobbit Day.
Wow. Really? Really?
It's a feat, Scott. It's a feat.
Wow.
It's a feat.
Wow.
It's Ice Cream Cone Day. It's White Chocolate Day.
Yuck.
Proposal Day. World Carefree Day. And World Rhino Day.
Ooh, I like World Rhino Day.
Am I alone in being offended by white chocolate?
No, I love white chocolate.
White chocolate. What is the point? It doesn't taste like anything. It just tastes like sweet.
Delicious.
And it's gross.
It's delicious.
It doesn't have any flavor. It just tastes like you took all of the flavor out of chocolate and added 3 times the sugar.
All right, I'm just gonna tell you
makes
one.
a good mocha.
Yeah. That's one of my favorites. White chocolate and caramel and coffee, or for a latte. That's my favorite. White chocolate and caramel.
I do like a good cake or something, like a white chocolate ganache or something. That's good.
And I had a buddy who was a chef. He like marinated steak in tequila before he cooked it, and then he served it with white chocolate, and you had to have a bite of the steak and then a bite of the white chocolate, and it was really good.
Are we just gonna gloss over the fact that Chuck can afford a ganache?
What is a ganache?
Oh, come on! it's like a thick, like a chocolate that is like thicker than pudding, but not hard like a candy bar. It's just like a soft, like scoopable chocolate.
And is it expensive, I'm guessing?
No, it's not expensive.
No, it's not.
You can make your own chocolate ganache at home with store brand chocolate chips.
Well, Alan has now made fun of both of us, so I have something for Alan.
Perhaps one day you can be a crash test dummy. I've wasted on your training, and you still turn out to be a blithering idiot.
None of that
You're
was
an utter
supposed to
failure.
play.
You make me sick.
Great job, team. Head back to base for debriefing and cocktails.
It won't stop now. Woo, there it goes.
Debriefing, and then we're going to wax our drawers.
Yes. Right, I'm going to try that again. This one's for you, Alan.
Perhaps one day you can be a crash test dummy.
At least I have something to aspire to.
I'm just kidding. Just kidding. All right, good job, guys. Did we miss World Carefree Day?
Nope, we said
I don't care.
Okay, all right. You didn't care. Number of the day, Chuck.
The number of the day is, oh my goodness, I just touched my computer screen and it went everywhere. It's 20 quadrillion.
All right.
20 quadrillion.
What is that, Chuck?
That is the number of ants roaming the earth.
Does that make anyone else very itchy?
How do they know that?
Yeah.
How do they know?
Biden did a
that's
census.
how you get ants.
It's a census, Chuck. Little ant census. Haven't you seen the guys walking around with their clipboards? No?
Counting ants.
I have an ant story from the other day. We have a spot. Most of our backyard this year died, most of the grass and everything, because I wasn't able to take care of it. But I've sort of been maintaining it and getting it back down where I can replant it. And I was out there trying to replant, and it looked like the ground was moving, like not a little section, like a 50-foot by 50-foot square was just like moving. And I started looking around, and it was all the big black ants with the wings covering the ground and the whole entire area. And I found probably 40 or 50 little entrance and exits. They had this colony that had taken over my entire yard while it was overgrown.
Wow.
Insane. I've never seen anything like it.
What do you think caused it?
Just not taking care of the yard, and then we did a bunch of work on it and cut down branches and raked and got everything cleaned up good, and I think it disturbed them, and they're all coming out.
See?
Oh, is that what you want?
Yup.
Because that's how you get ants.
Little clip from
I am not a fan of using chemicals and poisons in my yard, but you better believe I put some out there the other day.
You're all gonna die.
Yeah.
All right. We better get Alan to work. Here we go.
Slap some bacon on a biscuit and let's go. We're burning daylight.
It's the world of strange. A world gone wacky.
Out here, due process is a bullet.
And some of the scariest people on the planet.
I think you're bluffing. Be afraid. You know, you look mighty pretty when you get mad.
It's your odd news on KCHW.
Just sit back and enjoy the show.
right, we always start off with the news attack where the first part is true and the second part is a bad joke. All right, first part, summer's over, fall is here. It's good news because Alan's neighbor would sooner endure his leaf blower than to have to watch Alan mow his lawn with no shirt and those cut-off jeans.
My neighbors like my cutoff jeans.
Daisy
they appreciate them.
Yeah. All right.
When I wear that outfit, they think I'm a double stuffed Oreo.
I'm about to get a new tattoo, like really high up on my thigh today. I need to be able to show that off.
Nice.
Yeah.
And what's the tattoo gonna be of?
It's going to be private. That's my business.
A cherry. All right, Alan, you're next.
So yogurt maker Siggy's will pay someone $50,000 to move to Iceland to promote the country and the brand. Not me. I'll apply for a job like this when Beachland does a promotion.
Ooh, where's Beachland?
Mm-hmm. Where is
I'm gonna
that?
go there. All right, Chuck.
I want 72 degree land.
Yes.
Where is that? We're at 72 degrees, 24 hours a day, 365 days a year.
Colossal Cave in Tucson, Arizona.
Okay.
Yeah. Hey, is it really?
Yeah, 72 year round.
And it's dark all the time?
And it's dark all the time.
It's perfect for you, Chuck.
Perfect. I never have to go outside?
Yeah.
Amazing.
Never.
Grow all the mushrooms you want.
No, I like being outside.
Okay.
I like being outside. A study found that prolonged use of pacifiers may stunt a boy's maturity. Yeah, not to mention the ribbing he's going to get in gym class.
I wonder if there's any adults that still have that.
A pacifier?
Yeah, the problem.
That was like a trend going for like the late teens, early 20 somethings, and like the early 2000, late 90s era.
Huh?
It was a thing.
That's disgusting.
I think there were substances involved with it though.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it me?
Yes,
it
is.
is.
Oh, Oktoberfest has begun. My favorite time of year. It's a time across the country where beer flows freely and plumbers rack up major overtime. What?
I don't.
Sure.
I'm not sure how those correlate.
Because people pee a lot?
Okay.
Maybe?
Yes, maybe. Huh. I'm confused. Explain that one to us on Facebook. Good luck.
Maybe it's a German thing.
Okay. Uh-huh.
Do plumbers fix the beer taps?
I have no idea.
Not a clue.
I hope not.
Wow.
That could be a problem.
In my experience, the people fixing beer taps are usually the minimum wage, recent hire employees.
Ooh.
Right. Yeah.
All right, Alan.
Oh, a study says many kids don't like washing their hands. Did it also find they do like picking their noses?
Yep.
You don't
I
want to
like
wash
ones
that
like
good stuff off.
I like that. I like little ones like that because that's a direct correlation.
Because plumbers are going to be really busy.
Right. Yeah.
And you're up, Chuck.
The plumber thing would have made more sense with that one than it did with the one I went with. Washing their hands, busy plumbers, whatever. According to a study, no known hangover cure actually works. This is true. But having your boss find pictures of your drunken escapes on TikTok awfully comes close. Yikes.
Survey found that we're more afraid of living in a nursing home than dying. Let's see, 12 hours a day of shuffleboard and karaoke or eternity in heaven. I don't know. I have big plans if I end up in a nursing home. I'm just saying, I got big plans.
I'm 100% positive that if I go to a nursing home, Brenda's going to be there too, and we're going to wreak all sorts of havoc.
Exactly. I'm going to be pinching so many butts and getting kicked out so fast. I'm driving my kids nuts.
I just want to make sure I'm in one of the states that has the euthanasia policies.
Wow. Wow.
Huh, that's what my kids said.
That was not even joking. That's the thing we've dealt with recently. That would have been really nice if Texas offered that, but they do not. So
right.
I think we're back to you, Alan, for the last one on the news attack.
A YouTuber tested the iPhone 14's crash detection feature, and it worked. I could have told you that. My teen crashes her phone into the floor at least 3 times a year, and my credit card detects it.
You put a case on that, you know.
Right.
All right, on to the world of wacky but true. We don't add anything to the stories but sound effects. And Chuck, you're up.
I heard actually that there are people that don't put cases on their phones.
Really?
What?
Like savages.
Oh.
Why would you tempt fate like that?
I don't know.
Yeah. So a woman in England was turning up at funerals and wakes stealing food. That's a good idea.
That's thriftiness.
Yeah, it is. She would blend in with other mourners and pretend she was a friend or co-worker of the deceased. The woman showed up for free food for at least 14 years.
Wow.
I'm so missed out. Wow.
Have you guys done that?
No.
I honestly have. I've done that for weddings and a few church picnics, but never a funeral. That's kind of disturbing.
All right.
Well, now your options are wide open, Chuck.
Here you go.
Right?
Yeah.
I guess if you're respectful.
Okay.
You know, if you I mean, who's going to question you? You know.
All right.
It's a free country, don't you know that?
I didn't know it was that free.
Yeah, everything's free if you can get away with it. All right, a few weeks ago, Joey Likens, piercing enthusiast from Cincinnati, woke up in the middle of the night with a terrible cough. Felt like something was blocking his airways, and he coughed until his back started to hurt. Felt like he couldn't breathe and began to suspect that he had pneumonia or some other serious respiratory condition, maybe COVID. Likens went into the hospital for an examination the next day, and the x-ray revealed something unusual in the upper lobe of his left lung. Doctor showed him the scan and the small twisted object that left him flabbergasted. It was something he had lost years before and that he never would have suspected to find in his lung. A nose piercing he had lost one night 5 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah. He said he woke up one morning, the piercing was gone. He looked for it but never found it. After identifying the foreign object, doctors scheduled Joey for emergency surgery, and they performed a bronchoscopy, which is like a colonoscopy, but the other end. Same thing. And they actually got the piercing out. So,
well, at least they didn't go in that way to try to get it.
Right? Yeah.
All right, we can get it, but we're going in from the bottom.
We're taking the roundabout. We're taking the scenic route. Yeah.
Well, have you ever fixed a nose before?
No, but I've done several toes, and how different are they really?
Huh. Okay. Alan.
In a small town in France, someone broke into a woman's apartment and stole only a pair of shoes. Then the person made the woman's bed.
Nice. Aww.
That is nice.
Right, let me play this.
Well, it depends on the shoes. They could be expensive.
Yeah.
What was that? I don't know. I was too busy talking to Big Nose. I think it was Blessed Are the Cheesemakers.
What's so special about the cheesemakers?
Well, obviously, it's not meant to be taken literally. It refers to any manufacturers of dairy products.
And that was the wrong sound effect.
That is a great sound effect.
Let's try this one.
I need food. I need a bath. I need a bed. I need a massage. I need a manicure. I need to see my therapist.
I need a beer.
All right, at least she got the bed made.
Wow.
Almost.
I need a beer.
Yeah, after the show. All right, Chuck.
It is Oktoberfest.
Yeah.
So Saturday is Doomsday. Wow. A hoax alleging that a catastrophic event, possibly a solar storm, will usher in the end of the world. The hoax stems from an August 2022 study by someone named Ali Al-Rubaidi, who claims the solar storm will strike Earth tomorrow, leading to a September 24th end to our world. The guy's prediction based on a mixture of scientific evidence and the Quran.
Wow. You know, after the past few years, I'd say anything's possible.
I was going to say, if it takes us out quickly and painlessly, I'm not 100% against it.
I feel like he forgot to consult the Mayans.
Right.
Yeah.
That's where my brain was going with that.
I think you can now get SPF 100, so you could survive that solar storm, possibly.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
I have some.
Yeah. Solar storm. Just think about it.
There's no way for a man to die.
Yeah, you're right, Ed. A parachute not opening, that's the way to die. Getting caught in the gears of a combine, that's the way I want to go.
Was she laughing or crying?
I don't know. It's a little of both.
I'm still trying to figure out what was going on in that last soundbite. I mean, I have some ideas. But...
All right, Chuck, it's you. You get to wrap things up today.
Okay. During a massive fire truck crash in Florida, in Hernando County Wednesday morning, authorities had to close the southbound lanes of a major highway due to all the debris and damage to the trucks. One truck was clearly carrying a very large shipment of Coors beer that was completely destroyed and sprinkled all over the highway.
Alan would say what?
It.
Alan would say what about Coors beer?
I would clean it up.
And put it in a dumpster where it belongs.
Just give me a straw.
Okay. All right. You'll actually drink Coors?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Well, Coors Light.
That is...
I'm trying to watch my figure.
All right.
That spiked hard seltzer hits harder than Coors Light.
I don't know what the sound effect says. It just says beer, but I don't know what it actually says.
I'm thirsty. I want a beer. What about you? You want a beer?
I guess that was just... Yeah, who wants a beer? All right, I got one more to try. All right, I was running late today. This one says tequila. I don't know.
Well, so long as we've got some time to kill, I think I'll have a beer.
We don't have no beer, just tequila.
What's tequila?
Yeah, it's like beer.
Is it fattening?
It's not.
What is fattening?
All right, since we're all watching our weight, we'll end with this.
Great job, team. Head back to base for debriefing and cocktails.
And that's our odd news for a Thursday. 3 Amigos Thursday. A big round of applause. Alan, Milani, Chuck, Richie. We're so glad to have you back this week, Chuck.
Glad to be back.
All right, you boys, you take care and you have a good weekend. And to all you out there in Radio Land, thanks so much for listening. We ask you to keep doing it today. It is KCHW 102.7 Northern Lights Public Radio. Have a great Thursday.
Good seeing you guys again. Bye.